So thank you very much. So we had 26 honourable members speak on this bill. I will try to respond to the points that they have raised and also the clarifications that they've sought. But before that, just a few specific to this bill and comments which are so linked to the stated objective of the bill I would like to put before you, sir. Sir, raising dedicated revenues. Sir, at the time of introduction of the bill, I had mentioned very clearly that this is a cess and it aims to, the cess collected aims to serve the cause of national security and also health security. And that it shall not be on any essential commodities, but it is going to be only on demerit goods. So raising a dedicated stream of revenue for credible defense capability is very important, particularly this era where it is high-tech warfare. Modern conflicts are all very dominated with precision weapons, autonomous systems, and also space assets, cyber operations, and rapid battlefield intelligence, all of which require a lot of capital-intensive expenditure, continuous expenditure, steady expenditure, and technology being such a rapidly growing area, you also have to keep updating the technology, which also requires investment, which has to be for upgrading as well. I'm sure all the members will agree with me that in the age of technology, one needs to be constantly on the top of what is the latest. We cannot compromise on this front. And talking about Mission Sudarshan Chakra, Honorable Prime Minister spoke from the Red Forts. He spoke from the Red Fort. Mission Sudarshan Chakra means building a wall of security around the country's key locations, industrial and public sectors, that the enemy cannot penetrate. If the enemy dares, our Sudarshan Chakra will destroy them. This actually, in a way, in a smallish or a pilot kind of a, if I may use that expression, was seen during the Operation Sindoor, sir. It showed how exactly our three services now work together, use signals and drones. We neutralize targets without our troops even ever crossing the border and without a single civilian casualty. This is the reality of modern warfare, sir. And it's a tech-driven and precise operation. So these systems don't come cheap. We need steady flow of revenue for keeping our defense forces fighting fit. So this cess actually offers a feasible mechanism to strengthen both citizens' health and military preparedness. Sir, before I go into the details of how defense has been left defenseless sometimes earlier, I'd like to highlight the fact that GST was levied on sin goods or demerit goods, and on them there was a compensation cess also added, so their incidence went up to 88%. In some cases, 72, 73 in some others. So they were all over 40%. Now when the next generation GST, we have also seen the end of compensation cess. And GST by itself gives us a cap of 40% to be levied and not beyond, to be levied on any commodity or service. Even on cigarette and even on pan masala, even today, after the compensation cess gets over, only 40% can be levied. Now, therefore, such demerit goods, which with the compensation cess were beyond 40%, some reaching, as I said, 53%, 72%, and 88%, now have a fiscal room for the government to keep the incidence of the tax at par, or if anything, a bit more, not come down, so that cigarettes or pan masala don't become cheaper for people and harming their health, one. And secondly, certainly using tax, we hope it will deter people from using these demerit goods. So the reason why excise duty came, being levied on cigarette and all those items which are listed in the excise schedule, we imposed excise duty, and also because excise was offered by the Government of India when GST was implemented, and when, for the sake of the compensation cess. And when the compensation cess's tenure ended by the 5th year, we had to extend it till as long as we could collect the cess to repay the debt. And therefore it had, after 5 years, also lasted legally till 2026 March, but now we see that even by December that will come to an end. Now, once the compensation cess comes to an end, we need to have that fiscal room filled in with something, and whilst the cigarette and tobacco related items went off to excise, pan masala is not excisable. It would have fallen between the two stools of 40% GST and nowhere else to be levied on. Therefore, this comes as a cess. And now, as we bring the cess, we are not saying, true to the character of what constitutionally is allowed for the Government of India to collect a cess and use it for various different schemes. Here, we have very clearly said we'll collect the cess, but we'll also give a portion to the states. And because it's being collected on pan masala, health aspects will be serviced by the money which will be going to the state. And we upfront recognize that public health is a state subject under the constitutional scheme of things. We recognize that publicly. I was surprised that quite a few honorable members spoke as though, we didn't know that, and therefore it has to be, sent to a select committee or a standing committee. We are aware of it. We have admitted that public health is a state subject, defense is a central subject, and why these two have to be combined, it's because pan masala would not have been in GST alone and also come in under excise. It is not excisable. So can I leave it without a tax over and above the 40% which GST would levy? No, I have to levy something because it cannot be left at 40% to make it cheaper than what it was or what it continues to be till today. As I explained. And therefore, when I say public health is with the states and this will go through schemes to the states, it means that the cess is being shared. It is definitely being shared. And when I come to responding to some honorable members, I'll take it further to explain how that will be shared. Sir, but the fact remains that defense, as I said, because of the technology level of warfare that we are seeing today, we need steady funds, and this is one of the things which we kept in our mind, while a demerit good can also fund. There are instances earlier said, I can go into the details of how in Parliament, when both the houses of Parliament, earlier defense ministers have said we don't have enough money to buy equipments. In fact, Kargil war, soldiers were left without boots, the snow boots which are so required there. I can go into the details of the items which were not ready. We were not even having enough ammunition to fight a 30-day or 17-day intense warfare. So There are instances earlier. In fact, if I can highlight the ways in which the Parliament had been told that no, we wouldn't have money to fund the defense expenditure, but kickbacks would be funding families. So defense was no priority of the earlier regime, if I can say. And of course, that is 10 years, 11 years ago. But since Prime Minister Modi has come, we have absolutely kept defense as a top priority, made sure that ammunitions are available in time. I remember ordering bulletproof vests for our soldiers. And I distinctly remember making sure all the ammunitions by the very nature, like medicines, they have an expiry time. If they are taken out because they've passed their life, they would be destroyed in a particular fashion and new ones will have to come. It's not as if you bought the ammunition, it can be living there forever. Ammunitions have a lifespan, after which it has to be replenished. There were times when ammunitions were left which were outdated and new ones didn't come in, so the army was left with nothing in their hand as workable ammunition. Thorough indifference prevailed in treating defense requirements, whereas I'm happy to say today, not only that we are keeping them fighting fit, but also ensuring that India itself produces majority of these things, and we are able to stop import and get them produced in India. Over and above that, we export defense manufactured in India defense equipment. That today, I think the latest numbers are not in my hand, more than 25,000 crores have already been earned by our exports. So defense and its priorities have been kept in mind, and I can give you n number of top leadership of the defense which said how they have been left ill-equipped, whether it is the 1962 war or the book of the guilty men of 1962, Dr. D.R. Mankekar has said how without providing the army with the budget or the equipment to defend those positions in the higher reaches. There are several eminent people who have written about how money was the cause for shortage of money was the cause for lack of equipment. Former Army Chief General Sundarji in 1990 warned that some voices were calling for scaling down or cancelling these high-tech projects due to money crunch, a move he called downright dangerous. That was felt by General Sundarji even then. And also the aging, unreliable weapons and equipments, eroding combat power of our armed forces. So this has been well recorded, sir. I do not want to go into the details, but most often we are also quoted saying, oh, you're quoting only those who you suit. The CAG report, about which always there is a remark here, 2015 CAG reports pertaining to 2013 period found that the Army's ammunition reserves are at a crisis level, the point that I made a minute ago, against the official requirement of stocking 40 days of war reserves. 125 or 170 ammunition types fell below even 20 days supply. Shockingly, half of the ammunition, all the ammunition types, had stocks for less than 10 days of intensive fighting as of March 2013. So 2013, that was the situation. And after Prime Minister Modi comes, everything really comes to the fore, and we had to keep attending to each one of them. Where does this kind of money come from? We need a steady flow of money to support defense and its preparedness. Sir, I'm no good in Hindi, but there was, when I was talking with my team, one of them mentioned this, and it's worth putting it here. Congress ki niti, aman ki asha, or patan ki asha zyada hai, meaning aman ki asha is what they used to say. Aman ki asha kam hai, or patan ki asha zyada hai. That was the approach with which Congress went, so long as the kitty of the group of diners was filled, the defense coffers was not a priority at all. What? I'm making the statement. Sir? Oh yes, Jairam Ramesh. Now that you got up to say that, I will say, Defense Minister of India, with your permission I'll name, Shri A.K. Antony, said in this house, in the parliament, I can't buy these equipments because I don't have the money. It is quoted, it's available, it's here. Defense Minister said that. Authentication, easily. Defense Minister of this country in the parliament said it. Is it a secret? Is it a secret? Or am I bringing a strange thing? It is a parliament recorded document of Sri A.K. Antony saying that. That is the authentication, you need it. Oh yes, I will. What was Bofors? What was Bofors? What was Augusta Westland?
Please, Honorable Minister, please address to the subject.
What was Bofors? What was Augusta Westland? I can give you more. That Jeep case, Commonwealth, you can take more. Dinas. Sir, authentication. We want to again open that Pandora's box to record it all on the parliament saying this is it, this is it, this is it. We'll authenticate every one of this. Yes, yes. Authentication doesn't frighten me. I don't speak without facts. Sir. It really gets on to, sir.
Please.
Oh, give me the facts, give me authentication. It's all over the place. It must have reached the Mars, the Pluto, whichever planet. Fela hua hai, har jagah. Sir, responses, sir. I'll come to responding to honorable members, sir. Sir, honorable member Shakti Singh Gohil, starting the debate, said, राज्यों को बीक देती है और अधिकार नहीं. This is outrageous a remark, sir. Sir, this is from an honorable member during whose period Parliament or the Cabinet was not the authority to distribute what to give, which state, how much. And not even a statutory body, Planning Commission. Chief ministers were made to go to the Planning Commission and हाथ जोड़कर बैठना पड़ा कि हमें ये दो, हमें वो दो. And that is why, having been a chief minister of the state, Prime Minister Modi thought, no, chief ministers cannot come, stand before a body which is not even a constitutional body and ask them money. That whole thing was changed, and what the Planning Commission should be as a think tank is what Niti Ayog is today. People don't go begging to Niti Ayog, please give me this money. That whole approach of bhik mangna is then. Abhi bhik mangna nahi hota. सर, राज्यों का हक देना है, जरूर दे रहे हैं. मैं याद दिलाऊंगी किसको भी याद दिलाऊंगी सर, क्योंकि John Brittas also, he came and excused himself saying local body election, I'm going away. I can understand, but I will respond also. Finance Commission, 14th Finance Commission, which actually increased the revenue share, taxable, devolvable revenue share, which has to go to the states, from 32 to 42. Prime Minister Modi readily agreed. Finance Commissioner said we should. Later it became 41 because of Jammu Kashmir becoming a union territory. Till today we are honoring that. But what was also said by the 14th Finance Commission, I'm sure Honorable Member Sumati also mentioned about it. 14th Finance Commission also said something more. I wish all honorable members please consider looking into it again. 14th Finance Commission also said Stop all the centrally sponsored schemes. Stop all the central sector schemes. Close karo schemes. Prime Minister didn't do that. It would have actually saved us some more money. We could have spent it again on defense. He said, no. Suddenly don't do this because states will suffer. We should continue it. 14th Finance Commission se 5 saal, 19 tak. 14th Finance Commission se 19 tak 5 saal, 19 se 24 tak 5 saal, और आज तक वो चल रही है. We have not, just because our share has come down and state shares have gone by 10 percentage points, we have not gone by that advice given by we could have 14th Finance Commission said it, we didn't do it that year, those 5 years, we could have done it even in the from 19, we didn't. Because the next Finance Commission which came did not say resume it or did not say anything on it, which means it stood by what the 14th Finance Commission said. Stop all the schemes. So 2 finance commissions have remained on the same line that these schemes should be stopped. Did Modi ji stop it? No. State के लिए आज भी जा रहा पैसा स्कीम के द्वारा. और ऊपर से जो फाइनेंस कमीशन ने हंसने के लिए कुछ नहीं है इधर. फाइनेंस कमीशन ने नहीं बताया कि स्टेट्स के लिए कैपिटल के लिए आप पैसा दो, 50 साल के लिए दो, इंटरेस्ट भी दो. प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने किया वो सेस की स्कीम जिससे आज स्टेट्स के लिए इतने सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स चल रहे हैं. कैपिटल एसेट्स आर गेटिंग बिल्ट इंटरेस्ट फ्री 50 इयर्स के लिए फ्रॉम 2020 टिल टुडे. I hope I have the numbers. More than 4.9 lakh crores have been given to the states. 50 साल के बाद आप वापस दोगे नहीं दोगे वो अलग बात है. It might be treated as grant वो अलग बात है. But दिए कि नहीं, फाइनेंस कमीशन ने बताया क्या? नहीं, फिर भी हम दे रहे हैं. So बार-बार I was astonished that John Brittas said that state and center trust deficit. I am shocked because, let me take, I'm sure there are other members from Kerala who will listen to this. Trust agar deficit hai, they wanted to go to the Supreme Court and take an opinion. Very welcome. Any state has right to go. And we also were summoned and we went and gave the facts, laid it before the Honorable Supreme Court. Article 293. No, have you got the right to decide on how much we should borrow? No, all of us have an FRBM. So, sir, trust and lack of trust are all issues now when, I'll give you a number. Cesses were collected even before, under the UPA. I'll read it all out, what were the cesses collected between 2014, between 2004 to 14. How much was collected, how much was shared. I'll give you the number. And similarly, I'll give you the number between 14 and now. And cesses are collected for a purpose. And it has to be, the money has to be spent for that particular purpose stated. More than the collections, more cess money has gone from the center. I'll give you exact numbers also. But still, no, there is a deficit. Went to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, at least one part of the case, immediately said, please go amicably settle, talk to each other and sort it out. Trust, I don't have any deficit, sir. But बार-बार आरोप लगाना, उसको रिपीट करना बिना डेटा, बेबुनियाद आरोप लगाना. Trust deficit is being created in the minds of people, which of course people are able to see where the facts lie. So I want to highlight the facts, sir, that Honorable Member Shakti Singh Goel, there is no less money being given to the states. UPA 10 years, NDA 10 years, ending 2024. I have said this number several times, I'll say it even now. 18.54 lakh crores were given during UPA time under the tax devolution. NDA 10 years, 71 lakh crores have been given. And if you take beyond 24 till 26, 84.87 lakh crores have been given. Yes, on the SASKI, 4.24 lakh crores, exact number, have gone to the states. No Finance Commission told us about it. So again, Honorable Members Shakti Singh Goyal, also Dr. Kanimuri, Sulata Devji, John Brittas, who's not been present now. Strengthening India's national security and supporting public health. I've already said that. Specific projects through which the public health activity will be supported, schemes or programs, will all be notified. And the general talk, I heard this even in Lok Sabha, I'm hearing it here also, sir. Oh, you will do it according to your wish and fancy, we will not know anything about it. No. A law gets passed here, notification under that law is notified to the Parliament. If the Parliament is in session, you get to hear about it. If it is not in session, it's placed on the table of the House, and for 30 days it lies there. Any officer will be able to help you to know what has been tabled. You will get to know the notification. You can see it and object or accept. And this power to levy cess has been repeatedly reinforced by the Supreme Court. In 2019, in a particular case, Mohit Minerals, Supreme Court reinforces Article 270 together with entry 97 gives Parliament the authority to impose a cess for a specified purpose. There's just no question. Central government has the authority, comes to the Parliament, passes the legislation and collects the cess. So there need not be any doubt about you're collecting. And the third important doubt which has been suggested or, raised. Oh, this is being collected, it will go to the CFI. How will anybody know about it? How much went into the CFI? This is also CAG audited. Nothing gets collected and goes into the CFI, which is not audited by the CAG. The expenditure, how it's been expended, are also looked into by the CAG. So this doubt about, cess means the center can do anything with it, cannot. It will go to the CFI. But after that, the CAG will look into it. So the question was raised about, all right, it's a cess, but you're not levying it on consumption, you're levying it not on the production, you're levying it on capacity. I just want to broadly explain it, sir. Consumption is taxed under the GST. I cannot tax again on consumption here. On production, if it were to be an excisable thing, I can levy on production also. But on capacity, I can levy production based here also. But I'm asking, it is an evasion-prone area. It can be very well said they are producing this much. Assume I'm taking random numbers. He produces 50,000, but gives in the market 1 lakh. How would I know? How would I know it? unless I see that the unit from which he is producing has the capacity to produce a certain number. Suppose the capacity which exists is 1 lakh, and he claims that he is selling only 50. But from the market intelligence, I am able to see more is coming into the market. How do I at all tax that? So there is well-researched, well-studied ways of understanding how to go about it. Several studies have been done, not just now, even earlier, under various different governments also, to make sure that a self-proclaimed statement is given by the manufacturer, that he self-attests and says, this is my capacity. That's the first stage. Various ways in which we'll go about checking how to do it. I'll let you know. It's not going to be a discretion-based individual harassing a particular producer. Just the fact that it is an evasion-prone area, we need to have beyond what comes out of factory gate, or at least what we are told. And that is why the capacity-based taxation happens because of that. Honorable Member Saket Gokhale. He's not here? It's okay. Oh, power to double the tax. No requirement to come to the parliament, and it seems arbitrary. Completely wrong. Power to tax or double the tax rate happens only in an emergency situation. Accordingly, the provision has been incorporated in the Act itself for prior sanction of the Parliament. So where is it discretionary, sir? Similar powers exist in other tax laws also, and it is nothing unique to this particular pan masala wala tax. Every time, even in customs duty is taken at one level, but what actually is levied is far lesser than that. If we want to increase, we increase because Parliament gives us authority to take it up to a certain level. If we want to cross that level, we'll have to come back. But even within that level, if we want to change, we'll have to notify. These are well laid out procedures for Parliament scrutiny. This law also goes through that stage. There's nothing which is discretionary or arbitrary or bypassing the Parliament. It's obvious from the law, from the bill which is before us, and I'm sure it's also visibly stated. Sir, also on this question of power under Section 34 to add new goods to the schedule, obviously we'll keep a certain window so that we can come up with adding more goods to it, all of which are demerit. I've been saying it from the beginning. I'm not going to add atta or khane wali tel or chena or things like that into this. Demerit goods only. Pan masala, sir, is currently covered under a tariff clarification 2106-9020. The ingenuity of the manufacturers may be that they make the same thing in a slightly different thing and call it differently and say, we know this is not that because it has some XY differently. But it is pan masala. Do I have to come to the Parliament to make a new law for it? Whereas if I have this window, similar demerit product, even if it's cloned, or even if it's evolutionary process of a pan masala, do I include it or not? So laws, not just this one, any law would keep a little window to say similar goods will be brought in. Lawmaking happens like that. So I repeat, this is only for demerit goods. So, sweeping discretionary powers like inspection and abatement to be done by officers have been provided in this. This will increase Inspector Raj. 3 members have said it. As I said, it's an evasion-prone area, but the way in which we have envisaged the implementation is to say, first of all, they make a self-declaration. Then, even then, along with it, immediately after that, a certain scrutiny happens if the manufacturing process is what the self-declaration says or not. And then it is verified. After that, a technology-supported continuous monitoring oversight is put in place. It's more risk-based enforcement checks. There is no visits which will be valid. People will not go and, except of course if the manufacturer says, look, for the next 15 days I'm going to be shut. And given the fact that he says it, we go seal the machine so that in the meanwhile he doesn't produce anything. From this date to that date, the machine will be sealed. That is if you want to do some maintenance or whatever. So that is a event-based officer going and visiting. Otherwise, it's all technology-driven. Also, the concern that all right now, all this will happen. Is there a legal recourse for him to redress grievance? So first, the original order, if at all some order is levied saying you pay this much, the original order will be reviewed or revised at the officer level. And then the appellate authority is where they will go. Then they will go to an appellate tribunal and finally to the High Court and Supreme Court. So every legal recourse is available and nothing is going to be left only to the oversight of the officers. So Member Harris Biran, I don't know if he's here, had said factories which operate at smaller capacities or small units, will they have to pay the same level of cess as a factory operating at 100% level? I want to just reply, sir. We've done detailed studies of how much manufacturing process happens at what level, capacity installed, what is the capacity utilized. And based on studies only, we have to come up with the rates. And first of all, there are also non-machine, matlab manual makers of these products. Small units which produce it manually. The rates they are being charged is completely different. Here, in the specific point that Honorable Member Biran has raised, if a factory has 10 machines, sir, and only one is operational, he will be paying only for that one machine, not on his entire setup which is got at 10. That's of course based on his self-declaration.
Honorable Minister, 1 minute. Honorable members, it is now 6 p.m. If the House agrees, we may sit beyond 6 p.m. till disposal of today's listed business and the special mention permitted for today. Do I have the leave of the House to extend the sitting beyond 6 p.m.? Honorable Minister.
So repeatedly questions have been asked about cess have been collected, you have not paid it. I just want to give the example, sir. Pre-2004 cesses were collected. The cess on crude oil, national calamity contingent duty, road and infrastructure cess have all been pre-2004. Health and education cess, which is 2004-5 vintage. And then, of course, health, there was also this new health and education cess, which blended both in 2018 and 19 and so on. the health and education cess, sir, government has transferred 6,49,459 crores during 2014-15 to 2025-26 against a collection of 6,07,573. 6,07,573 was collected. 6,49,459 have been disbursed, much more than what was collected, sir. So is with National Calamity Contingent Duty. Collected was 68,656 crore. Transferred is 72,993 crore, much higher than what was collected. The same is with road and infrastructure cess. Sir, the road and infrastructure cess has been levied since 2000. This cess has been collected under the Central Road Fund Act 2000 and on imported and manufactured motor spirit, commonly known as petrol and high-speed diesel oil. The cess is transferred to Central Road and Infrastructure Fund. There are various schemes through which it happens: railway safety, construction, investment in NHAI, road works, maintenance of national highways, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. All these receive it from there. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, sir, was 13,327 crore in RE 24-25, of which amount finance from the road and infrastructure cess was only 12,000 crores. Where it was only 12,000 crores from the cess, 13,327 has gone to the states. All states have got their share in it. I don't want to read and take the time, but every state has got it, so it's not as if some got and some others didn't. Similarly, on the compensation cess, which was collected for compensating the states having come into the GST, 9,45,237 crores were collected. 9,33,920 has been shared with the states. Arunachal Pradesh and Manipur, their AG authorized certification has not come to us, so the rest of the money will have to be given to them both. That's where the gap is. So one last word on the cesses, sir. So as I said, cesses were collected even during UPA era. If we were to see how much of cesses as a percentage of the gross taxable revenue, under the UPA, sir, that is 2010 to 2014, those 4 years, cess as a percentage of the GTR was 7%, 7.0%. Whereas now in the BE 2025-26, it is 6.1%. Far lower cess is being collected now than what was collected under the UPA. 7.1% between 2010 to 2014. So repeatedly saying you're collecting cess, you're keeping it. I'm saying I'm collecting cess, I'm also dispersing to the states, and I'm also saying with the numbers that more is getting dispersed to the states than what is being collected. And the total collection of cess is only 6.1% of the gross taxable revenue, whereas earlier it was 7.0. Sir, just for the sake of keeping records clear, Bengal Swasthya Sati is better. I just want to say the comparison has to be made in full. One simple comparison point. Ayushman Bharat, the Honorable Health Minister is seated here. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. Ayushman Bharat offers national portability, allowing migrant workers of Bengal to access free treatment in any of the 32,000 plus networked hospitals across India. Sir, and therefore, by choosing not to be in Ayushman Bharat, we have denied workers from Bengal who are all around the country. They go, at least honorable members will correct me, those from Bengal, lot of worry about Bengal workers being ill-treated in some parts of the country. And your Swasthya Sati doesn't help. So Bengal workers ke baare mein...
Now let the Honorable Minister reply, please.
This is the problem. This is the problem. They'll raise an issue. When an answer is given, they'll shout us down.
Leader of the House.
Sir.
This is...
Sir,
this is no way...
Leader of the House.
This is no way of debate. When Saket Gokhale was speaking, I as a health minister was sitting here, keeping quiet, giving you the permission, giving you the opportunity. I asked them not to keep quiet. Now, they want to make it a fish market.
Please,
which
let the
should not be
debate
allowed.
go in the right way.
And
Please,
the minister should be given the opportunity.
Up by dear, please. Up by dear, please.
I did not intervene in between the debate. He kept on speaking about Ayushman Bharat.
No.
Ayushman Bharat.
Nothing will go on record except Leader of the House.
Sir, only I need your protection. And I want, when the finance minister is replying the debate, she should be allowed, and the people from the members from the TMC should sit down and see to it that the debate goes in a very positive manner.
Honorable Minister, please, my dear, you listen to her answer.
Sir.
Please listen to her answer, please, my dear.
Sir, therefore, comparing Ayushman Bharat with Swasthya Sati, I just want to highlight this critical difference, sir. And also, of course, the fact remains that when center is willing to give you money, you top it up if you want. Many states are doing that. Sir, why should I be interrupted? Because they don't want to hear the facts.
No. You please, my dear, don't interfere in every word. Please.
They don't want to hear the facts, sir. They want to throw everything in their terms and walk out of the house. And yesterday when I was replying, they came in barging and then screaming. No way. We will answer every debate, and if you have a problem, you may raise the question. Sir, actually an estimated 785 crores would have been reaching Bengal. They didn't want it. After all, if that money was put in for the health, their own money could have been spent for anything else. No, we want to stand on this. And why? To affect the poor people of Bengal. Garib Bengal mein rehne wale logon ko.
No. Running commentary, please. Let the minister give her answer. Please, no running commentary. Please, my dear. Let her complete her answer. You, please, my dear, let her complete her answer.
Of course, I will authenticate. Sir,
Minister, you address to me.
last
please.
point, sir. Staying out of the national framework, which is Ayushman Bharat framework, stifles the economic potential of West Bengal and its health sector. If the state were integrated, why don't you all please listen?
Honorable Minister,
This is not the state of Bengal.
Honorable Minister, please address to me.
Sir, staying out of the
No,
national
please address to
framework
me.
stifles the economic
I
potential
will
of
look
West
into it,
Bengal's
please.
healthcare sector.
You, my dear, I will look into it. You, please, my dear. I will look into it. No. You, please, my dear. If anything is objectionable, we will look into it. Please, my dear.
You shout here. That's not the
Please,
answer
my
to
dear.
Parliament. You shout here.
Address to me. Please address to me.
Staying out of the national framework.
Please go back to your seat. Please, you go back to your seat. I already told you, please go back to your seat, Minister.
Staying out of the national framework stifles the economic potential of West Bengal's health sector. If the state were integrated in the PMJY ecosystem, which supports 15.5 crore families nationwide, Kolkata could leverage this volume to become the primary medical hub for eastern and northeastern India, catalyzing private infrastructure growth.
Nothing will go on record except the minister's answer.
So with these words, I want this House to consider passing this bill. Thank you very much.
Please, you go back to your seat. Please, you go back to your seat.